Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So this is part two of why I did not become a Shia based on the Lady of Heaven film, which is why I didn't become a Shia. And I've waited a while for the responses and a lot of the comments on the first video because there's been a lot of media coverage of the movie. The executive producer Malik Shilbak, I believe his name is, he's been on and he's been calling Sunnis and those that attended the protests as ISIS supporters, pro-Taliban supporters. And this is exactly why I did not become a Shia. It's exactly for this reason. And it wasn't a video that I initially made to support Sunni Islam. No, it wasn't. I'm just giving you my honest journey. Why, when I began to read about Islam from the age of 18, why is it that I did not choose Shiaism? And it's for this reason. I mentioned in part one that for me it was a mental health crisis because of the very negative way at looking and interpreting the verses of the Quran and seeing so many important religious figures around the Prophet ﷺ, his companions, his own wife, our mother Aisha, as literally pure evil. This is how they view them, right? For me, that was a big problem because, you've got everything's a conspiracy theory. And the reason I now have taken a kind of a seat back and to notice what's been going on, this individual is a perfect manifestation and the epitome of why I would never ever go into Shiaism, with all due respect to my Shia brothers and sisters out there. Why? Because this Malik Shilbak is a very, very manipulative individual. Very manipulative. And you can see how he's behaving. He's pretending to be under the guise of free speech. What's your problem? You Sunnis, you people that are protesting against it, you're pro-ISIS supporters, you're pro-Taliban supporters. Whoa, wait there. What do you see today happening in Syria? Who is backing the Houthis that have caused the death and murder of not thousands, people would say millions and millions of now Yemenis, to the fact that they're now starving and they have a famine? Who's backing them? The Iranians. It's well known. I don't want to go too much into it, but if you're going to throw these accusations, well, someone's going to now accuse you being of an Assad regime supporter. You must support the Assad regime. You must support the Assad regime. He's an Alawite or Druze, but he's definitely an Alawite Shia from the Shia minority group. Do you support Assad regime in killing all the Syrians and made millions of Syrians widows and orphans and actually homeless and refugees in neighboring countries like Turkey, 5-6 million, Lebanon, Jordan, and all in Europe and Germany, as we can see, even into the United States? Do you support the Assad regime? Because you clearly must be an Assad supporter, and also a Khomeini supporter, and the Iranian supporters, because they're back in the, you're going to go from one place to another and it doesn't help. And it's for this reason, this manipulative language that he's using, and I've been studying this individual, this geezer, for a while, and I'll be straight up with you. This is exactly why I didn't become a Shia. I can see the manipulation. I can see how his very, very twisted way and interpretation of looking at things is actually, he's trying to fool everyone. So he's there with Nigel Farage, with Ajmal Masroor. He's there with this GB News, etc., which he's executive producer for as well, by the way, right? Different news outlets, with the guy from Five Pillars, Roshan, on Sky News, etc. And you can see how he's using this idea of free speech. But why? So he can promote religious hatred. Because that's exactly what it is. It's religious hatred. I mean, look, just one simple thing. How on earth can any British people, any Brits, whether it's Nigel Farage, a far-right racist like him, to the most left of individuals, how could you support an individual, a hate preacher, who even the Kuwaiti government, because he was a Kuwaiti citizen, the Kuwaiti government stripped him of citizenship? Based on what? Why? Why do you ask? Because he was deemed as being a hate preacher in Kuwait and causing religious and sectarian hatred and violence and disorder. That's what they accused him of. And here's the article. You can read the article for yourself, because maybe now Nigel Farage and all these Western journalists are completely ignorant. I'll give them benefit of the doubt. They're ignorant of this guy. So here we have the evidence and the BBC article, which, as you can see, was written in September 20th. It says September 20, 2010. So this is how far we're going back, almost 12 years now. So the title, Al-Kuwait إلغاء جنسية رجل الدين الشيعي ياسر الحبيب. So Kuwait, the cancellation of the citizenship of the religious figure, the Shi'i religious figure Yasir al-Habib. As you can see here as well, under the picture of these two maybe police officers or generals. سحبت الحكومة الكويتية الاثنين الجنسية من رجل الدين الشيعي ياسر الحبيب بعد أن اتهمته بالتطاول على الرموز الدينية ومحاولته بث الفتنة في الكويت. So as it says, the Kuwaiti government on Monday, the Kuwaiti government actually stripped the religious figure, the Shiite religious figure, Yasir Habib, stripped him of his citizenship after Kuwait accused him of going far and beyond, and بالتطاول meaning attacking الرموز الدينية, the religious figures, the religious symbols, important religious symbols, which obviously is Aisha, because this is what he did. He was absolutely just obsessed with attacking our mother Aisha. That's all he went on about, right? And this is what the Kuwaiti government accuses him of. And ومحاولته بث الفتنة في الكويت. And also Kuwait stripped him of his citizenship. Why? Because he has attempted to spread and create and spread religious religious divide and civil strife. In fact, they don't know who the writer is and who the, let's be honest, Malik Shilbak, that's his spiritual mentor. Yasir al-Habib, because a sheikh, that's his spiritual mentor. He loves him. I mean, he literally kisses his backside all day long and believes anything that they're a cult. They are a cult. And in fact, they do a disservice to not only Muslims and Sunnis, they do a disservice to Shias. Many Shia clerics and ulama have actually condemned him. Sheikh Yasir Habib al-Khabith, he has been condemned by many Shia clerics. Because why? Because in Kuwait, where he's from, you have Sunnis and Shias living together. Right? So they're very careful about not being sectarian, not being divisive in hate speech and calling towards any form of bigotry towards each other's religious figures and symbols. And that's exactly what he did with Aisha. He's been doing this since he was in Kuwait. Hence why he left Kuwait, came to London, sits here, and they decided to take away his citizenship. So Nigel Farage, I'll say this to you. Would you support someone who the British government has stripped of their citizenship? Would you support a Muslim figure who the British government have stripped of their citizenship? I'm sure you're quite happy for all the people being sent to Rwanda, right? Which got stopped at the end, clearly, by your friends in Europe, right? So why would you now support a hate preacher who even the Kuwaiti government, which the British government has good ties with, why would you support a film written and directed by and inspired by such a divisive hate preacher like Yasir Habib, who is not even a Kuwaiti citizen anymore? He's probably sitting here with political asylum because the British government likes to give terrorists and crazy people like that some form of asylum. Why? So this guy here, to be honest, Malik Shilbak, he just epitomizes to me the epitome of a brainwashed, cultish, fanatical minority Shia group. And he can talk about At-Tusi says it, and we all love At-Tusi, and he says it. Abu Bakr and Umar are responsible for the death of Fatima radiyallahu anha. We love Fatima. But the majority of the Muslim world over the 14 centuries did not accept your interpretation. Why is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spread this form of Orthodox Sunni Islam, if you like, to be amongst the majority, and even amongst Ibadis, to be amongst the majority of the Muslims over the last 14 centuries? The Shia are a minority, and it's always been a minority opinion. And like I said, from personal experience, for me, I couldn't accept it because it was far too emotional, far too, the glass is half empty, not half full. And for me now, if I now want to become a Shia, you watch some of his videos, he's got his channel, all of a sudden I've got to now make that shift. We spoke about reframing in CBT, right? Make that shift from I'm so naive as a Sunni. I love Umar and Abu Bakr and Uthman, and I love Aisha radhiallahu anhum ajma'in. I love them, right? No. I now need to be convinced, according to their Quranic interpretation and their own hadith, that they are evil. So now, for me to become a Shia, my mind and my understanding is now going to be, I love these people, to now I hate all these people. So this is the elitist, sectarian, dangerous form of emotional Islam that they believe in, unfortunately, which is why I never embraced it. I could never embrace it. And all I'll say to Malik al-Shilbak, and I'd invite him to even discuss it, have a debate with me, no problem. And it's not about Sunni Shia differences. I don't care about that. Believe what you want, I can believe what I want. But my debate with you is, how on earth can you claim that this film is made under the pretext of freedom of speech and teaching the truth to the world, when in reality this is only going to cause further divisions between the Sunnis and the Shias? The exact same reason your spiritual guide and mentor Yasser al-Khabith was stripped of his Kuwaiti citizenship. For that same reason, the Kuwaiti government, who warned him time and time again and he did not listen, stripped him of his citizenship, because he did exactly the same thing there, which is why now he's sitting in London or Slough, because he caused a lot of religious tensions. In a place like Kuwait, which is connected to Iraq, and people want to live together happily. And many Sunnis and Shias are married together and have kids together. And that stupid, ridiculous individual, many people have said he has mental health he has mental health issues. A lot of people say, right? A very manipulative, dangerous individual. You are now doing the same thing according to your mentor. And you're doing the dirty work of your mentor and your teacher, your spiritual teacher, Yasser al-Khabith. And you're proud of yourself, Malik. You're proud of yourself. You think you're doing some great service to the Muslim community, meaning all of us, from all the minorities amongst the Muslims in this country. You're doing us a service. You're doing no one a service. All you care about is the money you're going to make from this movie. You even said it yourself. Thanks for promoting it. Thanks for promoting. I'd like to thank you. And I bought this the other day from one of the shopping centres, and it reminded me of you. If anyone knows about this, guys, his name's Del Boy, yeah? Del Boy. Del Boy from where? Only Fools and Horses. What did he used to say? Apart from that, he who dares wins, and you're daring. This time next year, we'll be millionaires. That's right. And that's who you are. You are the Del Boy of the Shia cult that you're part of, that many other mainstream Shias do not believe in. You're a very dangerous individual. Shame on you for causing this religious sectarian hatred to fluster up in the UK. That's the last thing we need, because of course it makes sense. You are the sidekick, you are the apprentice of a hate preacher, Yasser al-Habib, who, again, even the Kuwaitis kicked out of his country, which is why he's sitting here. Maybe he's done favors for you, maybe you've done favors for him, God knows, but clearly he's led you astray, and now you are leading other people astray. And as for your story about Aisha being evil and everyone else, seriously, brother, on the real, it's embarrassing. Your interpretation is embarrassing. Whether you say the Shias believe in it and claim that they all believe in it or not, it's embarrassing. And like I said, it's a mental health crisis. To now cause people to hate religious figures, all of a sudden there was this big conspiracy and everyone's trying to screw everyone over. And in fact, the Prophet was murdered, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Fatima radhiallahu anha was murdered, and everyone was murdered, and we have been this long line of murdered, oppressed individuals. Seriously, get over yourself, man. Get over yourself. And I think of something else to feel special about, because this ain't working. This is emotional manipulation, and that's all you do. Emotional manipulation. And that's why I call it out as. So shame on you. Shame on you for causing more division in the name and guise of religious freedom and freedom of speech in this country. You've done no service to the British Muslim community. You've done a huge disservice. So shame on you.